Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Galdos, your bold guy with the bow tie, bringing you your tip of the week. Easter weekend, happy Friday, happy Good Friday. We are closed for Good Friday in observance of the holiday. We will actually be reopening on Monday, so we want to wish everybody a very happy Easter weekend. Now, this week's tip of the week is the appraisal contingency form from TREC. What is TREC? TREC is the Texas Real Estate Commission. And so this form is absolutely relevant right now with this extremely hot multiple offer market. So we're going to try to keep it as simple as possible. There are three options on this appraisal contingency form. Please note, this is only for conventional loans. If you have an FHA, VA, or USDA loan, you will have to work this out with your realtor to make sure that they are putting the right information on the third-party financing addendum. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this form today, however. And so we're going to start with option one, which is the complete waiver. What does this mean? So let's give a real-world example. If a buyer is wanting to purchase a home that has a sales price of $300,000, and let's say, for example, you're in multiple offers, the most common thing for a buyer to do in this market is offer more than the asking price. So let's say they offer up to $325,000. What happens is in the event that the house actually appraises only for the $300,000, and the buyer is on the hook for the $25,000 difference. And so again, they would have to give $25,000 plus the required down payment on top of that, and perhaps any closing costs that they've agreed to pay as well. So that would again be quite a bit of money there. So, all right, so that's option one. Option two is the more in-depth option, which is a partial waiver. What does this mean? A partial waiver means that the buyer is willing to, in the event that they're offering over the asking price, waive the appraisal, or basically partially waive the appraisal in the event that the appraisal comes in down to a certain amount. So again, real world example, $300,000 house, they offer $325,000. Appraisal comes in at $310,000. Well, if you put the amount on the partial waiver down to $300,000, which was the original sales price of the house, but the appraisal comes in at $310,000, the buyer has now agreed to pay the $15,000 spread between the appraised value and the actual sales price that they agreed to. So now let's say, for example, that they, again, that partial waiver is down to $300,000. Let's say the appraisal comes in at $285,000. At that point in time, because it's below that $300,000 mark, which was on the partial waiver, the buyer and seller can now go back and renegotiate the contract. And if should they not come to terms, they would be able to exit the contract and get their earnest money back, which is the good faith money that you give whenever you're making a deposit on a house that's been had an offer accepted on it, and when you're officially under contract. All right. Option three, usually this is the one that we've seen the most over the last several years and really since my career. It's the additional right to terminate. Now, this is really pretty simple. In the event that the buyer says, I'll give you $325,000, but they put this option down and the sales price originally is $300,000. Should that appraisal come in at $324,000, the buyer and seller can renegotiate the entire contract. Should they not come to terms, the buyer can exit the contract. So again, we're seeing more and more of the waivers and partial waivers for the simple fact that this benefits the seller. This is a seller's market. So in the event that a buyer is not willing to do this, it's very, very cumbersome and very challenging for a buyer to get their offer accepted because, again, sellers are wanting the guarantee of that difference for the appraised value. Anyway, lots of content here. Give us a call if you have any questions. We'd be happy to explain this in more depth. Our number is 210-476-5523. You can visit us online at TritonGroupHomeLoans.com or send us an email, TritonGroup@LegacyMutual.com. Have a great, happy, and safe Easter weekend. We'll see you on Monday.